And what were they?
Yeah, well, I started in theater, and so I feel like creatively, art has no color. So I read Moliere, I read Shakespeare. I mean, I was no special kid. I just wanted to do this bad enough. I didn't think about color, and I looked for people who could show me a direction, no matter who they were, man, woman, it didn't matter. And so I would design a lot of things on spec, and spec is kind of like, nobody's actually producing it. So I would read, and I would draw and design and sort of imagine myself as that costume designer.
Thank you. Hi. So I have an 8-year-old that wants to be a fashion designer.
Yeah.
So when I told her I interviewed you during the Black Panther premiere, she was
did.
really excited.
Mm-hmm.
So can you give me 3 pieces of advice that I can take back to her?
To your 8-year-old?
Yes.
Oh my God. Go to bed early. Get up early. And do your homework. And if you think you're creative, just go ahead and be creative. It's okay.
What's been the hardest part of your journey so far?
The hardest part of my journey is management. I think that I got the costume design thing. I can do that. I can dress almost anybody, but I have to bring artists into my group, into my team, and to kind of tap into their minds as artists. Artists like to do their own thing, and I gotta go, whoa, 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 over here, over here. You gotta do it the way I want it done. I know you're creative, but do it like this. So the management part of the creativity is really the hardest. And I think once they understand you and they understand what you want, they flourish. But it's not until you get to that part does it work.
Ruth, I have a daughter in a performing arts high school. What advice do you have for parents of kids who are in the arts who may not be skewed to go in a more traditional profession? What advice do you have for parents to kind of be encouraging to those who might want to take a more creative path?
True. Well, I started out in education. I come from a legacy of teachers, and I wanted to be a special ed teacher. And then halfway through college, I changed my major to theater arts. And my mom said, "Oh, you're going to do the news." And I thought, "Oh, I'm going to do costumes." Then when I came out and I was doing backstage work in the theaters, my mom said, "You went to 4 years of college to do laundry?" And I was like, I'm still on my path, Mom. So I think, my mom was curious about what the heck it was I had, done with my life and my education, but she was patient with me. And so my advice to parents is to be patient. Your kids are going to find their path. They're going to blaze their trail. Do not do the helicopter mom thing. My mother was not helicoptering in to buy me clothes so that I look popular, to make sure I had an apartment off campus. My mom let me go. She let me do, and she let me know that she was going to come see the play. She was going to sit in the audience and cheer me on. But she didn't always understand it, I'll say that.
When did you discover costume design was your passion, and when did you transition from theater to film?
Once I got to Los Angeles, I met Spike Lee, and he was telling me ways that I could get a career or get experience in film by going to some of the big colleges in Los Angeles, like USC and UCLA, and signing up for film thesis projects. So that's kind of what I did, and it was my first time on the set. I didn't know, I had been doing opera, I was doing Moliere, I was doing Shakespeare, and She's Gotta Have It, when I saw that, I was like, well, it's one girl walking through Brooklyn. Who can't do that? So it was a medium that I had to learn, though. It's a huge medium. It's very different from live theater. I love them both, but that's when the transition happened.
I'm going to interrupt and take you a little bit down to this group so they can get a few questions. And guys, we're going to do about 30 seconds, and then we'll have to move around.
Hi, Ruth. You talked about being scared going into Marvel and then having your team, abruptly just leave you. How do you combat those kind of obstacles and self-doubt, and what motivated you or what pushed you to keep going?
Thank you for asking me that. When I had that coup, I went for a walk. I said, wow, here is the greatest opportunity of my life. I'm not going to let that slip out from underneath my feet. And I went for a walk, and the phone rang, and it was Victoria Alonso, one of the head of Marvel. And she said, "Hello, Ruth, I heard what happened to you, and I want to tell you you're beautiful, you're intelligent, you're smart, and guess what? This is your film, and nobody's going to take it away from you." Like, somebody telling you that just kind of makes you put your head back up. And then she said, "You know, I run a studio, and sometimes I walk into my office and I close the door and I wonder, how am I going to get that thing done? And you know what I do? I ask for help. Don't be afraid to ask for help." And after I hung up the phone with Victoria, I turned right back around and I was like, I'm ready for this. Now, everything didn't fall into place just all beautifully. I mean, I was in the trenches trying to put a crew together and get a whole film shipped from Los Angeles to Atlanta. But we did it, and now look, we got $1 billion.
Come on.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you guys. Thank you, Ruth, so much. We appreciate it.